morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you on this beautiful Tuesday morning? Yes, as I was walking out of the house, just such a beautiful day. It just hit me, and it was absolutely fantastic. And I think I just may have. Let me just see. Oh, that's still fine. Sorry for that. But yeah, spring is truly in the air, and very excited to be able to sit outside on the stoop again in the morning. And not that I've done that this morning, but I've done it on Friday, and I did it yesterday. And I am looking forward to doing that more and more and more, because it's not as cold anymore. So I can just go and sit there and be comfortable and relax and enjoy, the sounds and all the good stuff. So yeah, really excited for this morning. I'm going to talk a little bit about technology and, the role that it can play in really taking our businesses to the next level. And there's a few interesting aspects around it that I want to talk about. So do stick with me. There's a couple of things that I've thought about over the last couple of weeks, and things that I've been busy studying and learning, and things that just is coming to my mind. Some discussions. I was part of a panel recently where we discussed some of these aspects as well, and it obviously makes one think further about it. So yeah, and as you know, I absolutely love technology. So yeah, I can't help myself to talk about it. So I'm not going to get into specific technologies like specific software solutions and things like that today. I must still do part 3 of my resources series, where I will get a little bit more into the financial planning tool side of things. But I've also been thinking this morning about maybe what I should do there is do a head-to-head. How would you like that? Let me know. A head-to-head. So let's say, for instance, we look at just estate planning, and then we either get all the service providers on as guests so that we can talk about their estate planning solution. And then in another session, we look at investment planning and retirement planning and risk planning and tax planning and, all that good stuff. So yeah, let me know what you think. It will be cool to hear. But before we do that, let me say good morning. Almin first in the house this morning. Good morning, Almin. Nice to have you with us. Malcolm as well. I hope Cape Town is as beautiful as it is here in Joburg. Louis, goeiemôre. You had me at tech. I knew it. There's one word that Louis can't resist, and that's technology. So let's see. And please, guys, this morning, please pitch in and share your views and talk with us, and just opinions, and ask questions and do those kind of things, because we want this to be as interactive as possible. It makes it a lot more fun, and not just for me, but also for you. So please do that. Kobus, good morning. He says he's looking forward. Yeah, Louis and Kim Potgieter. So Louis van der Merwe and Kim Potgieter will be on Humans Under Management, or they're talking there. So good luck to both of them. And Terence, good morning, Terence. Where is the coffee? I had tea because we found that the milk is sour this morning. So I couldn't do coffee, and I can't do coffee without milk. It just doesn't work for me. But anyway, so Denise, good morning. Hope you're well. Ian McMaster, good morning, Ian. I'm looking forward to catching up on Thursday. Stephen Nell, good morning. Hope you're well. Ferry van Niekerk, good morning. Also looking forward to Humans Under Management. Good stuff. We've got Razan, goeiemôre, good morning. I obviously had you at Tech as well, I'm pretty sure. Carol Lindsay, good morning. Good morning, Carol. Conrad Becker, good morning. Jaco Roots, goeiemôre. Arun. In the house, let's see. Yes, please, head-to-head, as you call it, François. That will be great. Yeah, it's actually stemming from some of the messages and conversation you and I also had. I think that sort of prompted that. But so I'm looking forward to doing something like that. Michelle, good morning. Very nice to have you here. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen you. I hope all is well. Let me know. Rihanna, goeiemôre. Very nice to see you. Been a while since we ran into each other in Checkers. And Chart van der Walt, goeiemôre, Chart. You're also very hot on the tech stuff, so good morning and welcome. So I hope you're going to enjoy this morning's session. Before I get into that, obviously, just a quick reminder of the Virtual Financial Planning Summit that runs from the 12th to the 14th of October. And you can go to the website right now, www.financialplanning-summit.co.za. I don't know if I should say financial planning -summit. I'm not sure if there's a difference between a dash and a hyphen, but it doesn't matter. So go have a look at that. It's 575 Rand. It's 3 days, phenomenal speakers, phenomenal topics. Every day has its own theme. So go have a look at it, and hopefully I'll see you there. I'm moderating one of the panels on technology, by the way, on day 2. I know Kobus Klein is on day 3, and there's a whole host of other people that will also be speaking at this event. So enjoy. It's going to be virtual. So I can't wait. I don't know about you and how you feel about it, but I can't wait to get back to some form of a face-to-face event. Yesterday, one of the corporates was asking me, can we do some sessions? And I said, yeah, sure. Is it going to be face-to-face? And they said, no, we're not open yet, so we can't get people into the training rooms. So unfortunately, we're going to be doing it virtual. But even I, who's an introvert, I'm starting to crave this. Let's just get out a little bit and see people face-to-face and just say hello. I don't know how you feel about that, but that's important. And then just quickly again, my episode with Derek Notman, it's been getting a lot of good feedback. It's about pivoting your business to a virtual practice. And Derek is a big, huge believer in that virtual is the only way to go and that is the future. I'm not there yet. I'm more in the middle. I'm more a balanced kind of guy. So I like it's somewhere in the middle. It's both. It's not either or. So I think we need to consider how we approach that. But what I can tell you is that the interview was very insightful, and there's also links and things that you can go and see more about what Derek does. And he's got a program or a system that will help you go virtual. Doesn't matter to what extent, whether it's just a blend or you want to go fully virtual. There are some people that has contacted me that's interested in going fully virtual, and some have said I'm interested in doing some of the things. So go check it out and see and connect with Derek on LinkedIn and chat to him and see if it's going to work for you. But go check it out. It's on the podcast. So you can just go to propulsion.co.za/EP23. And that's where you'll find that one. I'm also excited I can't announce them yet, but I've got a couple of guests that has booked their slots. So some more upcoming guests in the technology space. I've got somebody. And then we're going to have someone on here, which I'm really looking forward to. I've only met her in last week. We had a discussion on Friday. Actually, we had a virtual meet and greet. You all know her, or most of you will know her. It's the first time that I've gotten to speak to her and meet her. So looking forward to that conversation. I will announce that a little bit later. Well, not today, but later in the month. And then, there's a couple of other guests that's also up and coming that I can't wait to announce for you. So, really looking forward to this. There's also still the series on, what we can learn from, which will be where I will be interviewing business owners from outside our industry and see what we can learn from them. I've made contact with a couple, still not there yet to start the series, but that's also coming up this year still, so we will definitely do that. All right, so if you are ready, I'm going to get into this. Good morning, Renata. Nice to see you this morning. Kobus, I refer to it as hybrid virtual office. Yes, exactly. And that's the thing, Kobus, let me just say this, that it's in the hybrid, it's in the balance, it's in the both. It's not one or the other, I think. But it's what works for you. And I think most importantly, and that's what some of the things I'm going to get into today is, it's about what your client wants and how they want to be serviced and what they are looking for. Good morning, Nelson. Nice to see you. Good morning. Welcome here. Thank you for saying hi. All right, so let's get into the show. I don't want to keep you too long today, so let's talk a little bit about this. I think one of the challenges that we've got, and I don't know how you find this, but staying in the know is quite a challenge. It is quite difficult to really stay on top of everything that's happening with every single client. It's not easy because it's literally a case of time flies, and that's whether you're having fun or not. It doesn't even matter. I don't know. It's happened to me so often where I speak to somebody. And I had it very, very recently as well, with somebody that I really like, I would say sort of close to as well from a business perspective, and things that are going on. And, I just only heard almost at the end that, since the time that we spoke 2 weeks before, Her husband had a heart attack, and unfortunately, he passed away 12 days later. And I only found out like the morning that he actually passed away that he had a heart attack. So even in that case, it's just time flies so quickly that we don't speak to everybody in our lives every single day. Maybe your family at home and that, yes, but your friends, extended family, those kind of things. There's a lot of things happening, and we just keeping in touch and just knowing what's happening. Are you okay? Are you well? All of that good stuff. And also then 9 out of 10 times, if you do reach out and ask, they will say, no, everything's good and that. So from that perspective, it's really difficult, looking after 100, 200, 300 clients and staying on top of those relationships. It's not easy. Some people may thrive in that environment, but also I think to get the time to do that, I mean, if you spend 5 minutes with every client, just based on that, it's a lot of time. So it's difficult. I think that's sort of the bottom line. The other thing that I found, and I don't know if you find the same, but clients won't always let you know that, oh, this one was in an accident, or I broke my ankle, or unless you're looking after their medical aid, I suppose you will probably know. But often you don't hear about things that has happened, especially if it's not maybe to them directly, but something has happened in their family. They don't always pick up the phone and say, listen, what, this is going on. There will always be a few clients that do that, but most of them actually don't. I have quite a number of good friends that, they're not, they see that as complaining, and they won't say, oh, this has happened, or I'm struggling with this, or this is a difficult time, or whatever. You always hear after the fact. And I don't know if that problem lies with me because I don't connect enough, but doesn't, I don't even know how to think about that. I don't know how you think about it. But staying in the know, bottom line, is extremely, extremely hard, and it's extremely, extremely difficult, and it is very, very time consuming as well. But it is so critically important to actually know exactly what is going on. So, if I really look at a business, a financial planning practice in particular, and you ask the question, well, what do we actually want to achieve? I think one of the first things that we're trying to achieve is convenience. And this is sort of a two-way street. So it's convenience for the client and convenience for me. Now here, I want to use SaaS as an example of people that are extremely bad. And I say this with all the love in my heart, but they're extremely bad at creating convenience for their clients, because all they about is convenience for themselves. And often we do the same. I saw this in corporates where I worked. I saw this in other businesses and other ventures where I was part of. Often you look at it from the business's perspective or your own perspective and say, how can I make this as easy as possible for myself, for my business? How can we be like, let the client do all the work, and then all we need to do is just look at it and generate the results and then make a recommendation that will just reduce down the turnaround time of the process. It'll make it so much easier. It should, in fact, maybe eliminate a lot of mistakes. But I don't think that's the right way. We first need to look at it from the client's point of view. If the client is truly important to us and truly centric to our business, then we need to consider about how do we make it convenient for them, because that is what is so important. The other thing that we are trying to achieve is obviously efficiency, and these two don't always go hand in hand. I think they are often maybe counter sides to a coin, because efficiency doesn't always mean convenience. Because for me to be efficient, it means that I'm going to inconvenience my client most probably. And if I want it to be efficient for the client, it's probably going to inconvenience me. It's not always that you can find that perfect balance to make sure that everything is exactly on the same level, and that they actually work together quite well and quite nicely. Obviously, if you get into business and one of your objectives is not to be profitable, you're not going to have a business for very long. So profitability is extremely important. And often convenience and efficiency plays a critical part in creating that profitability. And there's a whole host of things. And this is sort of what I enjoyed about my conversation with Derek on the podcast, is he was saying that, look, I could reduce my fees simply because my costs reduce significantly. And I can give you another example from that. And this is the thing, you never know whether you're buying genuine stuff or knockoffs, but it does look genuine, because I actually went to other stores and looked at it. I had to get new tackies. And there is a place here in Krugersdorp that has been around for many, many years. They own the buildings where they are. They don't have all these overheads and expenses that places like the franchise stores would have in a mall, for example, because they don't pay that kind of rentals, etc., etc. But anyway, I bought the exact same pair of tackies. Was 1,600 Rand at Total Sports at, Total Sports, Stack It Down, and there was another place, Sports Scene or something. Exactly the same, 1,599. And I bought them here at this business for 900 Rand. So that is where I start wondering, well, are these things genuine? But they seem to be genuine, and everything checks out. So, the only reason that I can think of why the one is so much more affordable than the other, and it's not about being cheap, it's about being affordable, and you can get exactly the same thing somewhere else at a better price, it is because they've got so much less expenses. So if we can reduce and manage our expenses, the lower we can make that, the more profitable you will be. So if you're charging fees, your fees doesn't have to be 10,000 Rand for a plan. It can be 6,000 Rand for a plan. It may mean that now you do more of them, but the margins are still the same as for somebody that has huge offices with thick rugs and big leather couches and that kind of stuff that you need to maintain. And therefore your fees needs to be so much higher. We need to write so much more business to generate more commission, whatever that may be. And it's everybody's choice about how you want to run your business. But at the end of the day, if you really look at it from a business point of view, the main idea about any business is to generate profit and to generate it consistently. And one of the ways to do it is to keep your expenses as low as possible, obviously, apart from having to generate the income by doing income generating activities. And I think the other thing that we definitely want to accomplish is to distinguish ourselves. So you want to be different. You want to stand out in a good way, because you can distinguish yourself in not such a good way. So by not doing the right stuff or by not being consistent, you can really become known for the wrong things. But if you want to distinguish yourself, this is such an important aspect of what we're trying to achieve. And obviously there are many other things in a business that we're trying to achieve in our practices. There's personal goals, there's business goals, there's family goals, all that good stuff. So we need to look at that from that point of view, but be clear on what it is that we want to accomplish. And I just chose these 4 things because these are all things that could be addressed by technology. So I'm not going to get into every single thing. I do want to revisit my business model episode as well, to sort of go into more detail on some of the aspects there and overlay technology on top of that, and sort of show what one could do. All right, so then I see I missed the banner here, so let me just put it in here. And this is very, very critical. Because we know what we want. We know exactly what we want, but do we know what our clients want? And this is, again, if I go back to convenience and efficiency, often we do things like, especially if you've been in this business for a long time. Somebody said to me the other day that, I don't do an F&A every single time that I see a client, because I've been working with him for 20 years, and I'm probably, every single one of you will resonate with that and say, you know what, I know this client so well, and I'm managing so much money for them, or I've been looking after their portfolio for so long. Whenever they've got more money that they want to invest, I know exactly what to do with it. We don't need to go through the whole motions and the thing, and that's true, because that is the beauty of a relationship. But I think one of the things that we definitely should do is remain curious and make sure that things have not changed, and not assume that we know them that well. And I also experienced this back in the day when I was still a consultant and a manager. You sort of think that, you invite somebody to an event, they always say no, and then you stop inviting them. And then there was this one event that just, they were dying to attend something like that, but didn't invite them because they always said no. And that's also a lesson in don't always assume that because the answer's been no for 10 times in a row that it will remain no. Always give somebody that opportunity to change their mind or to give you a different answer. So it is important to go back and check. But What clients want, I can tell you from experience, and just looking at myself. I mean, just put yourself. Often we forget, like, what do we want? You know, we're so into, this is the way we do it. This is the way it works. My business runs smoothly. This is our system and our process. I know it backwards. When my eyes close, I can see it running and everything just works. But the one thing that is changing is that clients are looking for choice. They want to choose, how do they contact you? How do they interact with you? When they see you, how they see you, you know, the access that they've got to the information. So all of these things are choices that they want. And the question is, are you offering those choices in your business or in your practice through whatever means? I remember, you know, years ago, some new sort of structures and processes were implemented, and everybody was forced to submit everything that needed to be done to a particular email address. But there were still people who wanted to phone. There were still people who wanted to fax. Okay, this is back in the day. So that's what they prefer. They didn't like email. Not everybody had scanners that had to be scanned and then sent in and doing all of this good stuff. So by saying, well, the only way that you can contact us and the only way that you can get into our business is through an email address, for example, it's going to put off clients. And yes, maybe they won't leave right now. Maybe they won't, you know, complain to you about it. Maybe they won't say anything, and you would think, oh, that's cool, that's working nicely. But you start stacking these kind of decisions and these kind of like choices, and at some point they get to a point where, whoa, but that's more convenient. So I'm going to go over there. I'm very sorry, I've had a 10-year relationship with you, but you know, it's getting harder and harder to do business with you. It's getting harder and harder to contact you. It's getting harder and harder to obtain information. And not because we make it difficult for them. Maybe it's just taking a long time. It's just taking too long to get that. So that's some of the important things. One other thing that I think is critical is that we need to understand is, you shouldn't be looking around at what your colleague next to you is doing. I shouldn't be looking at what is Louis doing, what is Kobus doing, what is Malcolm maybe doing, you know, what are Carol doing, what is Carol doing, all of that. I shouldn't be doing that, although yes, you should do that as well because it gets you information. But what we should really be doing is looking at other industries. I want to give you a good example. You know, I love coffee. Unfortunately, this is tea. But you know that I love coffee. My favorite coffee place is Brew Coffee Roasters. I drive daily to them. They're just down the road. I drive to Bidon Bistro to go and have it there. Sometimes I go to Cradlestone, you know, wherever I can find them. There's a place in Noordheuvel here as well. But they've got amazing coffee. And it's not just that. It's the whole approach to how friendly they are, you know, that the product is always on par. It's always of a good quality. It always tastes the same. It's just an awesome experience. But what Brew has done as well is, so one, they've brought up like a loyalty card kind of thing, and where every 7 coffees that you have there, you get one for free, and that's fantastic. I think I've got a whole electronic wallet full of free coffees. But what they've also done now is to say, like, how can we make it more convenient because many of our clients, they leave early for work, or maybe they go for a run, or maybe they go for a cycle and they want coffee, but they don't want to wait when they get here. So what they got is an app. I think it's called Monster or something. And what they're doing with that application is you can order your coffee like for a specific time, or to say, you know what, with your geolocation, this is where you are. You're going to be there in 14 minutes. You know, and then they make the coffee. And what they actually do is, for people that order through that, they get preferential treatment, basically. So if your order came in, they will first make sure that is in order, so that when you park there, they bring it to you at your car, you pay, or you can actually pay through the app, and there you go. You know, so it's my choice whether I want to use that or not, but they've made it available. And that is the beauty of it. And these are the kind of things that we need to go and have a look at and say, what is happening in other industries? What are businesses outside of financial services doing? Because here's the thing, there's 2 things that happen now simultaneously, right? Is that one, everybody was forced to learn to use this technology. If they were fortunate to keep their job, they had to learn how to work from home. They had to learn how to use Teams, Zoom, and attend webinars and attend seminars and attend summits and all this good stuff. So suddenly, this isn't weird anymore. This isn't weird anymore. Now it's becoming like, oh, this is quite cool. Yes, we get moeg, you get tired of this stuff. And that's why I'm saying, I feel like I want to get in front of people and not just via my camera. And I was watching, by the way, on the weekend, a 12-hour Afrikaans show, Afrikaans Gaan Global, where they had 26 artists sing. And when they're done, there's no applause, there's no nothing. I can just think how hard that must be for them. You can't hear people scream and cheer and laugh or anything like that. It was still a very nice experience, and I loved every second of it. I watched the entire 12 hours, but it's not the same. But anyway, I'm digressing. So I think what I'm trying to say with what do clients want and what we, where technology, these kind of things were cool. Oh wow, I can get my values via SMS every month, or a little WhatsApp message or this or that. It was cool, But I think we're very, very quickly moving into where it's no longer cool. It's becoming a necessity because we've realized the amount of time that it's saving. And this is the one thing. So Gary Vaynerchuk always says that every time you can save someone, and this is why voice is going to become so huge, is that it's about saving time. As soon as somebody realizes how much time they can save, and for me, another way of saying, well, you're saving time is to say, well, I am getting my life back. I'm getting my personal time back. I'm not just saving, because you can't save time. It keeps running out, right? But there's more time that I can spend on myself, on my family, on things that I want to do, the things that's always been on my list that I don't get to do. So the more people experience these kind of things, and where technology makes it possible for us to do that, the more they're going to insist on it, the more they're going to want it. And the question is, are you going to wait until that dam wall breaks, and then you want a dam wall, like a water dam, not a dam wall. Yeah, so or are you going to be looking for solutions and things of how can you start to implement some of the things? And it doesn't mean that today we need this weird and wonderful and fantastic sort of system that nobody has seen, or that now you need to go and say, whoa, I need to take my Christmas bonus and start and develop my own system. That's not the point. The thing is, we need to start thinking about how do we make it convenient, how do we make it efficient, and also get to learn and know and understand exactly what clients want. Okay, just because you're not into technology. So as an example, on Saturday evening, the second last guest was Dozy. And I am not a Dozy fan, I will put it out there. But he was a complete different experience from all the other artists, because he didn't really embrace the situation and what was going on. And that's how I perceive it anyway to be. And one can choose, you can stay there where you are and you say, I just want to live on my farm. I don't want to know about the internet. I don't want to know about anything else. I just want to be off the grid. But then you've got to find clients like you, because that's usually your ideal client, right? Somebody like you. And it makes it so much more difficult to do business from that point of view. So we need to start thinking in advance about these different kinds of things. And I can tell you that I'm going to have some interesting guests on the show in the next few weeks that we're going to address some of these things actually. So really, really looking forward to that. All right. So then let's get to the role of technology. How do I see technology? Where does it fit in? Is it really important? Is technology actually the solution to all of these things that I've been talking about? And I sort of see technology as a bridge. Technology is not the solution. Technology is not the product. It's not the proposition. It is simply something that enables us to create efficiency. It is something that enables us to create convenience. It is something that enables us to stay in the know. So that is what technology can do for us. Yes, it can be hugely frustrating. I don't know. I think that's the thing with technology. When it works, it's the most beautiful thing in the world. When it doesn't, it's the worst thing in the world. But anyway, so for me, technology plays that role of bridging the gap between where we are and the things that clients want, the things that we're offering at the moment and the things that clients want. And I'll get to it in a second, but I think back to, when was this? 2013, I think, when this whole RDR debate started, 2013, 2014, and we attended all of these sessions, because then practice management was suddenly a thing. Moving to fees was suddenly a thing. segmentation suddenly became this big thing. And I remember fondly, I was sitting in this room. I was fairly young at the time. What was I, 38? And I sit in this room before the training, and literally, without being funny, around the room are most of them, at least the majority of them, were 60 or older. They are all like a lot more silver than me. And I was listening to the conversations where they were saying, like, none of this stuff is going to work because the bulk of the population cannot afford this, and they are the ones who need the advice the most. And they went on and on and on and on and on about this. I mean, I think we started the training like 20 minutes late that day. And I was just sitting there keeping quiet and just thinking to myself, there must be a way. There must be a way to service those clients and still make it profitable, but it's not going to be using the current model. And those are the things, like, we're so into like how we do things. And actually what we're trying to do is just protect what we've got. We're just trying to keep things, simple, and that we don't have to change anything and go through that pain. That's often we're trying to protect ourselves instead of saying, how do I take my business forward? But anyway, I'll get to that in a second. The big thing that technology makes sort of easier, and I'm seeing this, particularly in our accounting business, we've got a decentralized sort of model. We've got one person sitting in Cape Town, one in Centurion, one in Krugersdorp. There's two actually in Pretoria, and that. So, from that point of view, just to communicate and work together and have something central is quite key. So collaboration, whether it's within your business or whether it is collaborating with people outside of your business or just simply with your client, that is extremely important because you want to create a plan together. You want to be on this journey together. You want to celebrate the successes, and sort of go through the failures or the heartaches and the things together. So that collaboration is really about doing things together and not just I'm telling you what to do and you make a call and then I need to tell you what to do. This is really about, fostering that relationship, but then being able to work on it together at the same time, because that's really what collaboration is. And that is another thing that technology makes possible. I mean, a simple thing, if you are on Microsoft 365 or the old Office 365, so Microsoft 365, any documents that sits in OneDrive, if you give access to anybody to that file or that folder, you can work on that document simultaneously. Google Docs can do exactly the same. There are other tools like Asset Map, for example, which is actually built around the whole concept of collaborating and working on the plan together. And I think there's more technologies like that coming, and more of the existing systems are also sort of building their systems or enhancing their systems to take more of this into account and to facilitate this more. Just one point on client portals maybe. Often collaboration is seen as, we can collaborate when we offer a client portal. Now, I don't know about you, but in my view, I'll get to the comments in a second. I see there's quite a few. The whole point about a client portal is to have a view of your information. A client portal does not necessarily mean that you can collaborate. A client portal doesn't necessarily mean that there's two-way communication. It doesn't necessarily mean that the client has control to do certain things that they want or do some DIY planning if they want to or anything like that. So a client portal itself doesn't mean that, wow, this is awesome that you can do collaboration. A client portal simply means that the client has access to view the information at the very least. So one would really need to get into whatever system you're using, that client portal's functionality that it offers and what you actually allow clients to do or not. Because a lot of times, advisors wants to stay in control. So you don't want them to allow to change their information or to update their financial information or do anything like that, because it's gonna stuff up your planning, and then you need to go look at it again. But I think there's a huge opportunity in that specifically. The other thing that technology means is that literally you can be available 24/7, even while you are sleeping. Because what I've found, if I look at some of the times that people are doing certain things on my site, it's late at night or very, very early in the morning. I've had so many people complete their CPDs at 3, 4, 5 in the morning, If I had to be there to teach the workshop, or maybe they wouldn't ever even attend a workshop simply because we do it at 9 in the morning and they're busy at 9 in the morning. So by offering by using technology to offer the CPD to them, they could do it at their own convenience. And then if they've got questions, they can always send it through, and then we can discuss it in that way, and I can give answers or guidance or whatever the case may be. But they are able to do things when it suits them, at the pace that it suits them, and that's the beauty of this. And financial planning should be no different, or doesn't have to be any different than that, because maybe I want to just see maybe I'm sitting there at night and thinking like, this home loan is now getting to me. What will happen if I pay 1,000 rand extra? Is it really necessary for the client to phone you and say, you know what, PT? What will happen if I do this? How long before I will pay off my bond? Or maybe they can just see things there. But here's the important part, is like when they are doing these things, now it's about staying in the know. You should know that they're busy doing these things. You see, and technology could trigger something when a client does something like that to sort of let you know that this client is busy doing this, or using this calculator, or, they've changed this information in the system, whatever the case may be. And you are then in the know because that notification is automated. Nobody needed, the client didn't have to pick up the phone and say, Francois, I changed these things last night, please go have a look. It doesn't have to be. So there can be a lot of things that happens around that makes it so awesome. The other thing that technology makes possible, and I've seen this in my business with the CPD stuff and that, it's you can service a unprofitable segment of your client base. And that's what it's really about. You've built these clients up over time. And what was it, on Thursday? I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. I ran into somebody that I work with closely for many, many years. And we were talking, and he was telling me this story where he has this client that has, over the years, he says, I think it was 20 or 22 years or something like that he serviced this client. The client never had any significant, they were paying like an RA, like, I don't know, a few $100 a month. He never managed big investments for them or anything. But now in the pandemic, they were forced to retire now. Or they made the decision, I don't know if they were forced, but they made the decision to retire. And they are retiring from their work with a fund of over 7 million rand. And he was saying to me that, that is why you keep on sowing and sowing and sowing the seeds, and you keep watering and you keep watering, but you never know whether it would, sprout, and whether there would be a good harvest at any point in time. But when it does happen, it is very, very fulfilling. And then you're happy that you went through all those years. And in my mind, I'm in two minds about that, because on the one hand, that's absolutely true. It's a fact. There's many examples like that. And I'm pretty sure if I ask you, you can give me 3 or 4 or 5 examples from your practice just like that. But at the end of the day, we need to decide also, what is your mission in your business? So do you want to focus on, there's only certain clients that you work with, or do you know that you need to cultivate some of these clients to later on really get the benefit from them? And that doesn't mean that because you can't put in the same effort in a client that's got 300 Rand a month that let's say contributing the same that you do with maybe some of your top clients. So obviously that goes without saying. But you want to keep that relationship going. You want to make it easy for that client. You want to make it as least expensive, because if somebody's only got something small with you, it's probably because they can't obviously afford to do more expensive things. However, as we said earlier, it's so important to give them the advice, and that they need that. It's absolutely true. But the way we do it and the way we deliver it and what we make available to them so that they can do some of the things themselves to lower the costs, can all be done via technology. There are many things that we can do there, to do that. And even, it can go as far as let them, purchase something, if they want to start investing, to actually do that entire transaction via your website. And you don't have to go and see them, drive to them, or they don't have to come to you to come and see you. Yes, you can include like a virtual meeting. Yes, you can do all that stuff to make sure that you remain compliant, or you can actually automate that almost fully to a vast extent. So there's all of that technology can definitely do for you. And I think at the end of the day, what does all of this look like for me? Well, there's a few things here that needs to work together. So the one thing is you've got to really know and understand your business. You really got to know and understand your clients and what it is that they want. and then we can go and look for technology. The worst thing that we can do is make technology or make our business or change our business or adapt our business to fit a specific piece of technology. You got to know exactly what you need to do and how you need to service your clients before you then go and look for technology that can help you do exactly that. And again, the one thing that I do want to mention here as well, I said it on the panel the other day, is that we got to move away from technology as an expense on my income statement. It is an investment on my income statement, because if it is an expense, you're not using it correctly. If it's an expense, you're not, benefiting from what it can do for your business. Often we implement things that we think is a must need. We must have a system. We must have a CRM. We must have this. We must have that. But you really need to go back and have a look at that and say, well, is it really the case? And how do we want to go about this? All right. So let me quickly see some of the comments. Adrian Jordan, goeiemorgen, nice to see you. Andrew, nice to see you. I do prefer face-to-face meetings as opposed to Zoom, but Zoom is really efficient with time, absolutely. The other day I commented on a social media post on Instagram. I think XY Advisor asked, like virtual or face-to-face or both. I said, well, both, and I think 80-20. Just go with that because there's no stats. So I would go 80% virtual, but there will be that 20% that makes it absolutely worth it to go see people face-to-face, and one can consider it that way. Johan says, Andrew, I agree with you. I have adopted the new way of work, but face-to-face stay the best. Yes. RDR November 2013, 14, first draft published by then. Yes, that's why I can remember I just started as... in my financial advice practice, when I was a financial advisor, when I was that only from 2013 until 2016. So those workshops were definitely around about 2014, maybe 2015, round about there. Kobus says, one of my weak points, I believe in putting the same effort for all my clients. However, sometimes your smallest clients can become a bigger client for many reasons. Absolutely. And that's the thing, you never know, Kobus. And I wouldn't say it's one of your weak points, because it is just, that's part of your value proposition, is that you treat all your clients the same. That you make them feel, as important as everybody else. So I don't see that as a weak point. It's just about, again, how do you want to run your business? And also, I think what does influence this quite significantly is where you are in your journey in your business. When you are brand new, it's maybe easy also in that first bit as you're building up clients to give everybody the same attention. Then you get there somewhere in the middle where things become like, oh, hell, it's getting out of control. And then you get to a point where maybe your income stabilizes, you've got multiple income streams and things like that, which then, again, allows you to free up more time. And as you implement technology, the more you'll be able to do exactly that. So it will be different for different business owners and what it is that they want to do. But I definitely don't see that as a weak point. Face-to-face now becomes coffee meeting. Yes, true. Carol, I find my practices, especially independent financial advisors, teaming up with tech specialists to develop their own system based on what they focus on in the business and the rollout to other FSPs. Yes, I've also seen this, Carol, and my one problem with this is, or my one concern, I don't have a problem with that, it's quite cool, but it's a very dark hole that they go down. And you know what many of them do is they forget that they're financial advisors in the first place. So what happens is they get passionate about the system. They develop the system for themselves. They think it's the most wonderful thing since sliced bread. And then they want to go and sell it to the market. So what's happening at the moment is there's more and more systems coming into the market. Some say we're very niche here. We don't do this. We don't do that. This is what we do because this is the gap. And then there's others who say, oh, no, these F&As are not good. So I built this cash flow tool. I did this or I did that. And they take their eye off the ball, and these things cost a lot of money, often in excess of high six figures, if not more. And so it's not so simple to just go and say, let's go create a system. And many of them do that. I mean, some, especially like the franchises, they like building their own stuff. Some of the bigger IFA practices do that. Even some financial advisors in their personal capacity, whether they are tied or not, they like to do that. Others have built stacks, so they've just taken different technologies and packaged it, and now they're sort of putting that into the market. So there are so many offerings, and you know what happens when you have too many options? You battle to make a decision, and also to make an appropriate decision. So just from my point. But yes, that is happening, but I think it's a dangerous road because they put a lot of money into it. They go down that rabbit hole and then, it often doesn't work out. So that's just something for them to consider. Johan says, yes, Kobus, I treat all my clients the same way. Ian, the secret in business, only two things: profitable work and making informed decisions. Let today happen because you planned it, not by mistake. Ian, that is a fantastic share. Thank you very much for that. That is so true. Because otherwise, if it's not profitable work, you're not building a business, unfortunately. Carol says, yes, true, Francois. Good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my story for today. And I thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me that you joined me live. Thank you very much. Please help me share the show. Tell other people about the show. I didn't even put up my QR code today. I was like a bit into this. But anyway, so please tell others about it. If you've got feedback for me, please WhatsApp me, send it to me. You're more than welcome. Follow me on Instagram, Francois DTZA. I'm posting some stuff over there just behind the scenes and some quick sort of ideas and things when they pop up. It's not all the time, but you're welcome to follow me there. Please go check out the Financial Planning Summit. Check out my podcast episode with Derek Notman, and I'll see you back here on Friday. Thank you very much. I deeply appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.